Thank you so much, Diane. Like she said, my name is Luis Avendano. I'm the business analyst here at the National Student Clearinghouse for supporting Interstate Passport and our reporting services. So today I'll briefly be going over how we support Interstate Passport member institutions and all the resources that we have available to the institutions and users so that we can help the submission process and get out the best reports that we can. Michael went over these in great detail, but I'll briefly go over them real quick too. The passport services that we provide. First one is Passport Verify, which entails the completion file and the request file. Like Michael had said, the completion file is what records all the students' data on students have successfully earned a passport, and it verifies how we can verify to institutions that an incoming transfer student did indeed successfully earn a passport. The academic progress tracking, that's where all of our reports come from. So that's tracks performance data for passports and non-passport students. And like Michael also alluded to, that this is how we track the impact and success of the overall program in general. And I think it's been showing that it is very successful and this has been working well. And from that academic progress tracking data, we pull the reports. So to start off with, the main support structures that we have for our member institutions, our main go-to in the beginning are submission guides. A lot of time and effort has been put into these submission guides to really have very detailed instructions start to finish, from setting up your service to having successful file submissions. These submission guides will provide a service purpose, service sign-up instructions and activation through our implementation team here at the NSC. We'll give instructions on credentials and how to gain credentials, how to add more users to a four-year member institution so multiple people can get access to our services. FTP instructions, all submissions and delivery of reports are done through a secure FTP mailbox. So we have instructions to help any users around that. Validation types and field layouts. I think these are the most important part of the submission guides because they give detailed instructions on exactly what your file should look like and what rules have to pass for it to be successfully submitted. Along with that, we'll show a sample of the file. So again, you can visualize and clearly see what a file should look like when submitting it. We also have instructions on the user interface and the features that come along with it. The user interface has been built out and it really helps tracking a lot of reporting and seeing where all your submissions are in the process. Finally, we have contact information. If the submission guide isn't enough help or you want some more direct help through a person, we have avenues to help you out through that. So with that, our passport support team is our main source of help if you want some in-person help. We don't have a huge team, but we try to be very, very prompt in responding to any requests that we get on there. We do check it pretty often, so we'll help as soon as we can. Along with that, we have success and error emails, so you'll always be on the loop about where your submission is or if it's stuck, if it's pending, anything like that. And then lastly, I wanted to go a bit over the passport user interface. I think sometimes the passport user interface gets forgotten about or maybe not schools don't use as often, but this is my go-to when somebody has a question for me about their files. Here in the passport interface, you have a couple of different filter types and very clear and concise information about the submission status. Sorry about that. When files have been received and just the overall information around them. You can also get error information on here too if you click the submission number for any failed files. And to give an example of what that looks like, we call it the validation error log. And this is like I said, this is a lifesaver. This is what helps me all the time. Very detailed instructions on where the error is occurring, like field name, error message, error count, and the proposed solution. So you don't have to maybe be digging through the implementation guide, so you can find the solution. And the best part about it is it shows you the affected line number, so you don't have to scrub through. Most of these files have thousands of student data, so you can just go straight into the line that you want to fix your problem, and it helps out a ton. So going off of that, I wanted to go over the main questions that we usually get through our support email, or just when anybody reaches out. One of the main things that come up or one of the main things that we recommend is including all users that will need access to Interstate Passport services. You're not limited to just having one user per institution. So sometimes someone isn't available, and getting them access is really easy. So we recommend having multiple users for Interstate Passport for your institution, so that we can reach out to multiple people if help is needed, or if we find a problem that we can solve. Another question that we usually get is around structural and field validations. The main question is structural validations aren't shown to you. Like if a file has 4 different structural validations, you're going to have to submit that file 4 times if you don't find it or if you don't find all of them every single time. And we get some frustration around that, and we get it, but it's just something that has to be done. And it's different from field validations, because field validations come after structural validations. So you can get all of those at once, and you can only have to submit 1 time after you fix all of those. And lastly, the other issue that comes up, or a question that we get a lot, is about report generation. We typically generate the reports around the end of the year, after the, I guess, end of the year rounds of passport completion files have been submitted, and those get delivered to the school's FDP mailbox. So we get questions around when and where those would get delivered, and that's what we wanted to make sure to share with everybody here. And then wanted to open up the floor for some Q&A if anybody had any questions, any topic that they thought they would wanted me to cover from this, I guess, resource guide that we have. And if there's anything that you think of after the fact, I put my email there on the screen so that you can reach out directly to me. And I'm always happy to help. I love working with the Witchy team. I love the Interstate Passport service. So yeah, I'll gladly help if anybody reaches out. So with that, I'll open up the floor for any Q&A, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Luis. Anyone have any questions for Luis? This piece is definitely, if you don't have questions now, you will likely have questions, especially if you have not kind of undergone this process of reporting quite yet. But Luis and the team there at National Student Clearinghouse are definitely the go-to for issues that don't normally kind of go through that list of kind of the issues and most common issues. But he's going to be joining the banner breakout session too. So feel free to kind of pick his brain on any particular issues